Hi, I'm Mike from Ontario Speed Dating. So, Eventbrite, yes, I have to tell you all they are ridiculous again. And if you're a business and you're trying to sell tickets to a whole bunch of events, which are pretty similar, and the only thing different about each event is the date and time and at least one other thing, I think you better kiss your Eventbrite account goodbye and throw them all in the garbage. Why? Because I know this firsthand. Because with my events, sure, each one has a similar format to it. Yeah, there's a truck near me. So, my events, most of them are similar because, of course, they're speed dating. But the only difference is the venue, the date and time, and the age. But the problem with the Eventbrite is they don't natively support age. So what all the speed dating organizers do on Eventbrite is they put the age in the title so that people know what the age group is. And then they probably would include speed dating in their title too. But here's where the problems with Eventbrite come in. First of all, as hopefully a lot of you know by now, the website is rather clunky, slow, crazy slow to load. Whole bunch of garbage they just throw at you behind the scenes every time you load a page. So if you're doing an event right on their platform through their website, you're spending what? 20 minutes to make an event, or if you're lucky, 5. And you have like 100 events, or actually let's get more exaggerate. Say you have 200 events that you need to put up right away, and they are to happen one event per day, okay? So what's that? 6 months. Okay, so 6 months worth of events you want to put up, each event running one day after another, right? So if you were to use their website, right, and each one takes 5 minutes to post, even though you did all the steps quickly, some people aren't as quick on computers, but let's just say you're quick and it took you a grand total of 5 minutes to do one event. If you did like 200 events, that's a lot of minutes. Because even if you did 1 minute per event, 200 events, that's 200 minutes. That's like almost 4 hours right there. So you multiply that by 5. You're basically spending a whole day getting your events up without eating, without sleeping, and, well, maybe an hour of sleep. But you have like no break in between because you're stuck on the computer typing everything up, copying and pasting if you know how to do that. It's ridiculous. So they did have a wonderful idea, which seems to have crashed largely now because of the way they handle things. But until the end of 2025, people could use their API, which is the programming interface for people that know how to access websites in an advanced way without a browser. So people that use the API, like me, if you posted your events before 2025, or just before 2025 ended, you had a little bit of luck. You were able to post a few events and not get dinged. But now, it's a problem. Because I find that if I post just one event by itself, regardless of what text I use, what image I use, well, as long as the text doesn't hurt a person. But yeah, if I did that and I did just one event by itself, I don't get dinged. But if I do 2 events and the picture's different, but the event information is almost the same, they're going to ditch me. And if I did more than 2, it's going to be the same thing. So they're going to ditch me. And not only will they ditch me, they'll give me no notice. Which means those of you using the API will have a hard time. Now, I have not tested this using their website because their website's painfully slow to use. But API, the reason why I keep saying API is because if you write code in the back end, you could put events up at lightning speed. Like if each event takes like 20 seconds through the API. You just like press a button, your computer does all the work. And if you did one event 20 seconds, multiply that by 200, that's like 4,000 seconds, which is about an hour or so. So in the end, you're saving a good 20 plus hours just from using the API, which is basically give you the ability to automate your creation of the events in a sense. But you got to write your own software to go along with it. And I think Eventbrite does things like this too, random deletion, because they figure a lot of people are robots, but at the same time, there's some real creators out there that just want to get the events up there because they have other things to do in their life besides sitting on the computer for 24 hours simultaneously while staring at the screen, uploading the event, and hoping and praying to God that they don't get deleted. If they even do that. But the thing is, it's just disastrous how Eventbrite could just pull your event just like that. They don't tell you anything, and the only way you find out is to log in, only to see that your event is suspended, or your whole account rather is suspended. So that's why I gotta tell you all big business owners, or even small business owners, if you got a whole pile of events going and the things different about them besides the date and the time are other things like age. But the venue, yeah, they will take care of the venue part because they got a field for that when you make your event. The date and the time, they'd have a field for that, but they don't have a field for the age group or any other custom category that you'd need to make your events different from one another. So if you're a large business like that, whether it be speed dating or some other event where you have the date changed, you have the location changed, and then the other thing that's different is anything else that Eventbrite doesn't support in its boxes where you can pick from, then you're in trouble. Very bad, but that's all I gotta say. Bye bye.